Hello everybody, my name is Nemo and this game is Path of Exile. I've played this game a little bit. It's a action RPG, just like Diablo, and we're going to play it a little bit. I don't know if this is going to be a full-fledged let's play or anything. I don't even know how long the game is, but I wanted to show you this game anyway because it looks like a lot of fun. And let's get into it and create a new character.
Attention prisoners! The arrival against Diablo will be exiled from the sacred continent of Great Lost. The majesties of Orient the Merciful and have granted all
Yeah, so basically like the guy is saying, we've been exiled and I can choose my fate, basically. So I can choose which class I want to be here, and I'm just going to have to ignore the talking in the game, as it will conflict with my own talking. So basically there's 3 statistics. There's the strength class, which is the marauder.
I am a warrior. I was born to
He's
fight,
pretty big,
raised to defend my tribe.
and he has some cool stuff to tell, but like I said, we're going to ignore it. There's also the dexterity class, the ranger.
You can't own a life. Not a deer's, not a rabbit's, and not mine.
She has a bow, but you can also use melee weapons on her, just like any rogue, of course. And there's the witch, which is the intellect
If only they'd
class.
listened to their cowardice. Had they not
And she
taken
sounds
their
like a child, even though she looks older than she sounds. Now, the other 3 classes you may be asking, well, which are those? Well, those are the hybrid classes. So the Templar has intellect and strength.
I fought, wept, and bled for God and the Order.
And he's basically the paladin type class, I guess. Then there's the Shadow, which has dexterity and intellect.
A simple job, I was told.
And he looks a little queer. There's the Duelist, who has strength and dexterity.
He had it coming. Was I supposed to bear such insults with an action
Looks pretty
simply
cool.
because of his high birth?
But for now, my other character was a Shadow, which I haven't come far with that character. I'm still only level 12. But I'm going to choose the opposite of that and choose a Marauder this time, because he looks awesome.
I was born to fight.
Yeah! Warrior. And we're going to choose Hardcore.
Now, I have
Now,
been taken from
Hardcore, unlike in Diablo,
exile by
when your character dies in a Hardcore league, it is simply moved to the default league. So you don't lose the character per se. So I don't see any reason not to choose Hardcore, really. Because you'll get the thrill of playing Hardcore while still not completely losing your character if it dies. So that's pretty cool. So we gotta name this guy. Let's think of a name that nobody's using. How about, I don't know. That's what I'm feeling. Awesome. I haven't always had success with naming stuff and thinking of something original. Hence the name of my YouTube channel. But this guy is pretty big, man. His silhouette is a lot bigger than the other class I was playing. Anyway, so there's a driftwood club here, and drifted along shore, just like I did. Apparently the ship crashed, or wrecked, I guess, a shipwreck. So, and I have this driftwood club now, which I can use to attack people with. So let's talk to this other guy who also arrived here by shipwrecking.
We're all that made it. They dumped.
And he apparently
He doesn't
is
have a
dying.
sex
I'm going to continue here because
The lucky ones.
if you want to really read all of this, then you might as well just play the game yourself. It's awesome, so I certainly recommend it. And there's a hungry corpse. Let's hit him with a
when I
driftwood
kill
stick.
a man, he stays dead.
That's awesome. Heavy strike. So what just dropped is a gem. Now this gem is a heavy strike gem. It's a red gem, but this gem is a skill basically. So the active skills, your abilities, let's call it that, are actually gems in this game, and you have sockets in your items where you can put those gems. And if you actually have an item that has a gem, then that gem becomes a skill you can use. In this case, Heavy Strike. So let's read what Heavy Strike does. It's a level 1 gem, and it costs 8 mana. The damage effectiveness is 150%, so that's compared to my normal attack. So if this does 100 damage, this would do 150 damage right now. And it knocks enemies back on hit, and it has 30% reduced enemy stun threshold. So it's easier to stun people, I guess. Alright, so that's pretty cool. You can use it with a mace, axe, sword, or two-handed weapon. So awesome. Let's actually replace my default attack with this gem and get rid of that, because there's no need to have the default attack and your basic attack skill have separate buttons, because if I use up my mana, it'll automatically revert to the default attack. So there's no reason to do that. And as well, another thing you can see with this game is I have some flasks here, which are basically my health and mana potions, and it's a little bit different than Diablo. This game has a lot of stuff borrowed from Diablo 2, I guess. Not so much a lot of stuff from Diablo 3. It's a little closer to Diablo 2 in that sense, in that it uses potions. But you can see I automatically equipped that shield, by the way, so that's cool. And this heavy attack looks pretty awesome, I gotta say. The effects in this game are really well done. I really like how they look. So stuff is coming out of the water here. But this potion system isn't exactly the same as in Diablo 2. The difference is it's a little bit of a hybrid between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, I guess. Diablo 3 has the orb system, where you defeat enemies and orbs randomly drop from them. Although it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't totally random, because the only real challenge in Diablo 3 was from champion packs or uniques, and those always dropped orbs. So this system basically is like you're always fighting champions, in that your potions are always refilling as long as you're killing enemies. So killing monsters refills your potions, and that's pretty cool. Now you can see my mana was empty and I automatically used the default attack. Now to refill my mana I used one sip of this potion. It doesn't completely use the potion, and the potion flasks don't disappear after use either. The potion instead refills as I kill enemies. So that's a pretty awesome way to do stuff, and what's even more awesome about it is that the potion flasks actually can have random, well, not totally random I guess, but passive attributes to them. So that's really, really cool. I think I'll probably make this a two-handed guy, so I don't know yet. I haven't decided what build I'm going for, and that's something else I'll probably show you as I have a level up. There's a lot of passive skills you can choose with this in this game, so there's a very big number of combinations of skills you can get, and the active skills you do find are somewhat random, not totally, but I can imagine that the later skills will be very, very hard to get, and so there will be a very big difference in builds, which is really cool, because you can really make a unique character and have it make sense. You know, so there's not so much going to be cookie cutter builds, although I'm sure there will be. It's just inevitable with a game like this. But anyways, I leveled up in the middle of combat just earlier, so let's look at the passive skills and give you a little bit of sense as to the depth of the character design you can have in this game. This doesn't look like much, does it? How about now? Yeah. So each of these nodes requires one level up pretty much. You can get some skill points from quests as well, but still, that's a lot of skill nodes, and the build combinations are endless pretty much. I've seen some high level characters and they only had like this, like over here or something, and just in one line. Like, there's no way you can get all these skills or anything. So basically the Marauder starts here. That's the difference between the classes. I'm playing the Strength class. The Marauder has the Strength and the power. He-Man. He has Strength so he starts with all the strength nodes and all that good stuff. There's the witch, is the intellect class, and she starts, I think, over here. I'm not totally sure. This, yep, this is where the witch starts, this node, and then there is the ranger, which starts over here. So pretty awesome. And the witch has the intellect, and the ranger has dexterity. So what is the difference between the statistics? It's not like there's a health statistic or anything, although strength does give you life, but every statistic has a offensive and a defensive purpose. So 2 strength is 1 life, and 5 strength is 1% melee physical damage. Strength gives you mana and energy shield, which energy shield is a defensive attribute as well. And dexterity gives you accuracy and evasion. So you can see that each stat has a use for each class. And it's not like the Marauder has no use for mana either, because his skills do require you to use mana. And it's not like he has no use for dexterity, because you do need to you need to be able to hit the opponent, you know. So accuracy is useful. For now, I'm going to just go with some melee damage added, because that you can't go wrong with extra melee damage, and you can get respec points. So it's not too worrisome in making mistakes. And you know what? If I make a mistake, I'll just reroll if it's really bad. I don't care that much. I'm just here to have some fun and not think about things too much. So it's awesome, the amount of choice you have in character design, really, and I hope that each build is going to be able to be successful. Now here's a special mob, Hillock, which has additional life. Let's see how we do against him. It's useful in battles to always have each each potion or each flask regenerating. So as long as you have used at least a little bit of each flask, and we just killed the guy. As long as you've used a little bit of each flask, it's regenning, so that's cool. So because if the flask is totally full, then there's nothing to refill on that flask. So it's better to just use them as much as possible, basically, is what I'm saying. Let's pick all of this stuff up and see if there's any good loot among this. This has a green and a red node. It has 5 to 10 damage, which I think is more than what this club has to offer. So let's identify. Although we also have this thing. Excuse me. We also have this thing. So actually, I'll use that. That seems awesome. I want to be a two-handed guy. I don't know, man. Big club? Yeah, that's what I'm using. Right, so we take this gem out of that item and we place it in this one. And now we still have our skill. We have to replace these here though. But we still have our skill, and you can also swap weapons. The annoying part is that whenever you swap back, you have to reset the skills. That's the way you want them to be. That's a little bit annoying, but I'm sure this is open beta, so I'm sure that will get fixed eventually. So that's something I haven't mentioned yet, is this game is currently in open beta. And that's why you'll see a lot of people playing it right now. This actually looks pretty good, but I like my weapon right now. So this game has been in beta for quite a while, but it only recently got to be in open beta. And that's why I'm playing it right now, and it seems like a really cool game. I've played a little bit of it, as I already mentioned, and it seems really good. I really like the game, and it seems like a really good... Well, a lot of people have been saying that this game is what Diablo 3 should have been. And I can really see that point, because this seems like a really good replacement, a modern day replacement to Diablo 2, whereas Diablo 3 is quite a different game. And this game is a little bit more true to Diablo 2, I think. So you'll see that as well as we head into town here, and I'll show you the trade system, because you may have noticed I'm picking up all of these nice items, but I've yet to pick up any gold. that is because there's no gold in this game whatsoever. And these are items from my different class. Let's see if there's anything I may be able to use. Seems not. Alright. So, basically, these guys here, I'm here to get a quest and deliver a quest. So I just killed the big giant hillock that was threatening this town. So, let's talk to her.
Welcome to our home away from home, for what it's worth. I'm Nessa, that putrid giant you just laid to rest. That was Hillock. You're lucky. He's eaten stronger exiles than you.
Stronger exiles than me? Look at my guy.
We could use you here, while you live.
Alright, so she thanks us for destroying Hillock, and she gives us the next quest. Don't worry, I'll get my quest reward yet. I'm sure she just sent us to find someone else. This one. So, as you can see, what happens when I set something up for sale, I don't get gold for it. Instead, I get these scroll fragments. So every base item, pretty much, everything that has no real special use, will give you a scroll fragment, and 5 of those become a scroll of wisdom, which is basically an identification scroll. So you identify an item with that, so magic items can be identified with that, which is pretty useful. So why not, right? We'll get some identification scrolls here. Now, this thing, however, is a blue item, so you can imagine I get something better than just scroll fragments for it. Instead, I get alteration shards, which are also fragments, and together combined something better. Let's accept. And each vendor, I think, will give you the same thing, so it doesn't really matter where you vendor your trash items. Of course, your best items you'll probably want to trade with other players, though. And let's see, I got another one of those. Alright, augmentation. What's augmentation again? I think that's, I don't know, doesn't look like I have another augmentation scroll, so whatever. We'll be happy with this. And this, you can also buy items with the merchant here, and you require orbs and scrolls, and basically that's bartering as well. So you get these scrolls of wisdom, are basically your basic currency, and you can buy many simple things with that. You can also trade them in for a portal scroll, and that is required to make a town portal. So yeah, portal scrolls, identification scrolls, they're pretty useful just in use, as well as bartering for other items. As you can see, some of these items, such as the Orb of Transmutation, requires 7 portal scrolls. So this is already worth a lot more than a portal scroll. It's at least 7 times as much as portal scroll, and that means it's at least 7 times 3 is 21 times as much as a scroll of wisdom, and that means it's a little 105 times as much as a scroll fragment. So you can see how the barter system works here. But that is just the least value of an item. You can fetch a lot more for items by trading them to other players, because of course you want to make a profit usually. So the trading can be quite complicated, and Orb of Transmutation becomes an Orb of Augmentation, which then becomes a Orb of Alteration if you have enough of them, and that's how stuff works. And you can buy stuff with the right orbs, depending on how good they are. I'm sure an Orb of Chance can be made with Orbs of Alteration, and so on and so forth. Right now I'm more interested in life flasks, because I need these because they're useful. So I don't know yet if I'm going to need another life flask or a mana flask, so I'm gonna keep it like this. I don't know how much mana I'm going to be using with this character or anything, so let's get a feel for that before I do anything else. But I can get a ring with some identification, or scrolls of wisdom, sorry. Let's see, do I want a 1 to 4 physical damage ring? There's only maximum mana, there's no extra life rings, I don't know. The physical damage rings don't seem too good to me, especially later on, compared if you look at how much life I have or mana compared to the life and mana rings. But unfortunately she's not selling a life ring right now, and mana ring doesn't make too much sense for this character. So moving on.
A mighty marauder, marooned on a moribund mainland. That's the
What a
place.
horrible poem.
There's an island, a hop, skip and a wade offshore.
Alright, so he's basically a pirate and their ship wrecked on an island, and I get to recover the medicine chest there. That's a quest I got.
Fine work with Hillock.
And this guy is going to give my reward for killing Hillock. My first quest in the game, I guess. So I found that with the hybrid classes you usually get both of the colors of gems that... actually, have I talked about what the colors of gems stand for yet? Don't think I have. So red is strength, green is dexterity, and blue is intellect. So basically every red gem is a strength gem, and thus the skill corresponds to a strength character, and so on and so forth. So basically what I'm looking at is mostly I want red gems with this character, but sometimes you find something useful, such as dual strike. If I were to use two weapons, I might want to get this anyway, even though I'm not a dexterity character. So what I think happens is that with the hybrid classes you get you only get to choose between the two gems corresponding to what class you are, whereas with the main characters, this one only has strength as a primary statistic. You get 2/3 choice of what you are and then 1 random, I guess. That's what I found so far with the quest system, reward system. But anyways, so ground slam slams the ground in front of you with your main hand weapon, creating a wave that travels forth and damages enemies with an increased chance to stun. Only works with staves or maces. This is a mace, so that's cool. This only works with axes and swords. Well then. Swings the weapon of both weapons if dual wielding an arc. Also does damage to other nearby monsters. I don't know if I really want to commit to being staves or maces, but I also don't really need dual strike. So that's a little bit annoying. 40% reduced weapon damage while dual wielding. I think I'll get this ground slam, because it seems that the fact that it only works with your main hand weapon should profit me for using a two-handed item. So let's get that. And now we have a AoE ability as well, so we'll equip this. And now we got the ground slam, so we can use that as well. So cool. This is my AoE ability, this is my one target ability, and everything is nice and easy. So you can see you can get some pretty diverse builds with this. So I think that's it for our town visit, and let me just check how long this video has been. Alright, it's been a long enough video for now, so I think I can end it right here. I had trouble reactivating the window after using Alt-Tab, so maybe I'll want to not play in full screen next time, I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. The game is obviously still in open beta, and if you want to get in on this action, then you can easily Google Path of Exile, or you can simply follow the link in the description. I'm sure I'll have a link down there. So yeah, easy to find, and you can easily get in on the open beta and check this game out for yourself if you like what you've seen. I'm sure this is a very short presentation so far, so be sure to check out the next video as well if you're unsure whether you like this or not. I promise this game gets better the longer you get into this game. So for now, my name's been Nemo. My name will still be Nemo in the next video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Have a great day, and be sure to give this game a try if it's up your alley, because I really like this game and I can certainly recommend playing it. So, see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.